Welcome to Talk to Satv, where we dive into the discussions of most pressing global and national issues. Today we have amongst us Mr. Peter Pogose, Chairman, Nicholas Pogose Foundation and grandchild of Nicholas Pogose. We also have amongst us Lee Atkins, the advisor, Nicholas Pogose Foundation. Welcome to our show, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we will talk about philanthropy, a great individual theme. Today we will talk about legacy, innovation, youth empowerment through education, technology and sport. We will talk about different aspects of this Nicholas Pogose Foundation, and how they're contributing towards the positive change of the society. The work of Nicholas Pogose in 1848 Dhaka is phenomenal. Nicholas Pogose is remembered as one of the early visionaries who helped shape modern education in Dhaka. In Bangladesh, nearly 2 centuries ago, in 1848, he established the first English medium private school, the first private English school in the city at a time when structured education was a privilege of the few. He was a merchant, a philanthropist, a member of the Dhaka's flourishing community, but beyond his business success, he left an intellectual legacy. Today, his legacy is being revived and reimagined through his descendants, Mr. Peter Nicholas Pogose, led by his own descendant, Mr. Peter Pogose, and supported by Mr. Lee Atkins. Gentlemen, this foundation has enormous contribution, especially after the school, and the school has enormous contribution as well towards the Dhaka's community and towards progress of Dhaka. So, Nicholas Pogose founded the first private school in Dhaka in 1848. So what motivated him, and how do you interpret that in 21st century Bangladesh?
Well, what a great question and a fantastic introduction. So thank you very much for that. It actually makes me feel very proud when you spoke that way, and just listed the achievements and the groundwork that he did, and I'm very pleased to hear that. So thank you. We're excited about the future of how we can contribute. We want to start with a small step and grow incrementally. Our North Star, so to speak, is the 12th of June 2048 as part of our vision, which would mark 200 years anniversary of the school. And that's very key into the way that we're looking at this project. And we think that we can make an impact in in education and sports in that time, starting with the Pogose School and helping it to become our little bit to help it to become what it can be, and take it from where it is now to a shining light in Old Dhaka. We think it needs to be lifted up, supported, encouraged, inspired, and really help the young people of Bangladesh at the same time.
Peter, as a great-grandchild of Nicholas, great-great-grandchild. Great-great-grandchild. How do you personally interpret his vision, your great-great-grandfather's vision, and its relevance in modern global Bangladesh?
Yeah, I think he was looking at individual children and seeing a need, but he was looking at human dignity and national progress in that moment. He really wanted to create something different. I don't think he really maybe knew that his school would still be there 177 years later, but I think there was a love for the Bengali people, from being a native Bengali speaker, being born, bred, raised, dying in the country. He obviously had and his family, our family history runs back 250 years in what is now Bangladesh. So in Dhaka. So, and in Kolkata as well. The family spent a lot of time involved between the Armenian churches in Old Dhaka and also in Kolkata. So they walked those historical pathways and maybe into some of the old trade routes as well, from Armenia into Singapore and places. So.
Well, the foundation is rooted in a remarkable story that began more than 250 years ago, as you have mentioned. But what does 250 years mean in practice and work today? That must have inspired you, that must have encouraged you.
Yeah.
You started your career, but when did you, took the decision that you will, walk on the footsteps of your forefathers?
Well, since a little boy, around the family gatherings and meetings, the Pogose school was always mentioned. So for a very early age, it was embedded in my heart as part of our family history. And so there was always this desire to come and see it for myself. And I got that opportunity 11 years ago, 2014. It was the 167th anniversary of the school. They were going through some changes or potential changes. I got invited out. I came for a long weekend. And I was treated so well. Like, they laid out the red carpet to welcome me, to make me feel part of the family. It was a long weekend. I visited the Armenian church. And when you see your great-great-grandfather buried in a hole in the ground in Old Dhaka, in a very peaceful, beautiful church, where there's hustle and bustle outside in the tight streets of Old Dhaka, it does something to you. It has a spiritual movement. So I wept for 30 minutes by my great-great-grandfather's grave. I can still feel it now, right? And I went home feeling like I belonged here. I went home feeling like this was my home.
That's wonderful.
Right, even though I'd been there for 3 or 4 days. The heart connection was so strong. So I went away and I ignored, because the children were growing up and family life being what it was. I always felt like Bangladesh was there and I wanted to go back, but I didn't get the opportunity until the start of this year. And I reached out to a very good friend of mine, Dr. Mohammed Aziz Rahman from Oxford in the UK. Very, very well connected throughout the British Bangladesh community. Yeah, he's had he's been a restaurateur for 45 years. He knows the people have come and gone, but also working for the British Bangladesh Chamber of Commerce for 2 terms. He was the perfect brother, I call him Aziz by now, to help with this project. So I reached out to him and said, what have you got going on in Bangladesh? And he said, if you called me a month ago, I couldn't do anything. But he said, come round, have some dinner, meet the family again, and we discussed what Bangladesh would look like for a visit. He said, let's go. And so beginning this year, we returned. I've had 3 visits this year to Dhaka. And we laid out a vision of what we wanted to do with the foundation. And effectively it was working with young people based at the Pogose School to start off with, on education, technology and sports. And that we were going to form a bridge, a spiritual bridge from the UK, from international, into the heart of Dhaka, to connect hearts and minds and build a team.
That's wonderful. Well, I can assure you of the fact that you should consider Dhaka as your second home, because it's justified to consider it as second home, because the kind of contribution that your forefathers did to this landscape is amazing. Well,
I have 16 relatives buried in the Armenian church. Yeah,
exactly.
With the gravestones and other connections into other Armenian families. So it's a very, very powerful connection to Dhaka and to Bangladesh.
Exactly. Lee, my question to you, how did you connect with these great initiatives?
Well, I've known Peter for near enough 20 years from my world in sport.
When did you first met?
We first met at Arsenal Football Club. Where I was hosting a table, the Professional Cricket Association, the Players Association for the England cricketers. I was working with in the commercial department, and we bought a table at an event that Peter was running for a charity. He was always been in the charity kind of philanthropic.
So philanthropy is in his blood.
Absolutely in his blood.
Yeah.
So we met, and we forged a friendship from that point forward, basically, and we stayed in touch. And over the course of the last 20 years, we've had many different meetings of different work opportunities and so on. And there was always something that I couldn't quite pick out as to why. Not that we were not friends, but there was something bigger. There was something larger that was there. And my own experience as well of working as a school teacher and playing cricket, and then working in the sport that I love, and then with other sports rights holders and building an education platform. It all led to this moment now, really, where I came here 2 weeks ago and saw the school for the first time, after 2 days of being in the country, and it was just wow. So for me, this moment has come. I believe it's a blessing for me to be here. Really.
Is it the first visit?
First visit to Bangladesh.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, many Bangladeshis still recognize the Pogose School as a landmark of old Dhaka's cultural history. So for your foundation, heritage is not just a nostalgia. Well, it's a living idea. So how do you transform that historical legacy into a platform that speaks of 21st century youth? You talk about sports.
Sure.
How do you connect?
Yeah, I mean, in the world that we live in right now, there is a lot of technology, obviously, everyone is adopting technology.
Even the sports are adopting
and sports very
enormous
much so,
technologies.
huge amounts. And kids are native, they're on their phones more times than anything. When we were growing up, it was very different. So I think the blend between creating a really good platform for education as the Pogose kind of like almost sort of opportunity to create their own way of teaching, mixed in with sport, which is a great community provider, right? It speaks to everything that we do. Sport is a great leveler. It creates community, and technology as that layer that sits around that is a great way in which we can engage with the youth of Bangladesh and give them opportunity. Like we have so much opportunity to allow many kids to have access to anything they want, because that's what the world has to offer these days because of technology. And so I think there's a huge opportunity for the Pogose School, the Pogose Foundation and what it wants to achieve, the sports academy that we will create with some of the great players of the country, some of the great players internationally that are already in the country. There's huge opportunity.
Okay, as you have mentioned that you will prioritize the wish of the children.
Yeah.
That's pretty rare over this part of the world.
Exactly.
Because the wish of the parents are imposed on the child in this part of the world.
Yeah.
So that's a new concept that would be wonderful to connect with the young generation. So as Lee, as an advisor, how do you see the bridge between the heritage narrative and the modern youth empowerment? Because education is when you were educated, you were being empowered. So how do you plan to motivate these young childs? Because the literacy rate is compared with the Western world, it's not that good over here in Bangladesh.
I think I had an agency in London, and we always used to, when we go into client, we would say that we would use 3 words: simple, different and relevant. True. So we keep it simple. We make it different, but we keep it very relevant. And it sounds very easy to do, and sometimes it is and sometimes it's not, but I think we don't want to change too much. We don't want to get too big too soon. Like any business or any opportunity, anything in life, you have to take slow, small steps that lead you down that right path that is going to allow people to then have more experience, more opportunity and so on. So to answer your question, I think it's very much about how we take what is already there, and we don't come in and sort of say it has to be this way. We work with what's there, and we just slowly make it better, but also use what is already there, and just work with each other, collaborate.
It's more about management
of people, management of just expectation, management of the teachers, management of all the bodies, all the ecosystem that is around it. How do we make this happen? And of course, like anything, there will be moments in which there will be resistance because it's the new thing. But we have to be there, and if we put the children first, my belief and our belief is that we should be able to make change. And it may take, as we said, it may take longer, but the children will always be number one.
Okay. Boys, now it's time to go on a short break. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to go on a break on Talk to Satv, sponsored by Grand Palace Hotel and Resort. Do come back after the break. Welcome to Talk to Satv, sponsored by Grand Palace Hotel and Resort. Before the break, we were discussing about how Pogose Foundation will, they will inspire the children to go on progress. Peter, tell us about the 2 projects or 2 or 3 projects that you want to endeavor in the near future.
Yeah.
What are the plans that you want to go on with?
Well, we have. I'd just like to say that this project, the doors are opening miraculously, and we are very blessed to have Daffodil University as a partner, especially in these early days of getting established and getting a foothold. And with their beautiful 700-acre campus,
campus.
You know, the chairman there has just been so generous in opening up his facility for us and providing local hospitality. And I regard ourselves as being very blessed for that. And because of that, that opens up the ideas of the possible within those pilot schemes. So we have three key pillars within our organisation, and Lee will go into a bit of detail in a second of that. But the pilot projects are helping to encourage speaking English in a very informal environment with Bengali people, because it's very, very much in the classroom and it's quite a tight environment. But we want to bring volunteers over from the UK. We want to bring volunteers over from the US who will pay for their own flights, they'll pay for their own visa, and the foundation will sort out the local hospitality in partnership with Daffodil. And we'll take them to the schools, we'll take them to the universities, we'll do coffee and conversation in very relaxed environments. And just gently encourage the English speaking. That's a very sort of small pilot project to see how we get on. We've developed a partnership with the Computer Science and Engineering Department with Professor Nouri. And then within that, we're creating an app called Wiser Cricket.
Okay.
And that Wiser Cricket is to really try and look at grassroots cricket throughout Bangladesh eventually. We're looking for partners for that to join the party. So whether it's a child playing in a rural part of Bangladesh, there's a mobile phone there. We can data gather some of those scoring, how they're getting on, and then that sort of links in with sponsorship. At the end of the year, we're hoping to have a grand final where we invite the 100 best boys and the 100 best girls, and then we'll invite cricket clubs and coaches and dignitaries like Phil Simmons to come along, who's a very close friend of Lee, to participate in that event and then encourage the young people into the club cricket. So we want to pick someone out of obscurity and give them a talent pathway.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, talent pathway is definitely where it's at. With access to the great players that Bangladesh have produced. Phil, obviously, as the coach of the country, there's huge opportunities to bring in talent from wider field, from the UK, from Dubai, where there are sports academies that are in existence that I know of, and bringing them in, and again using the great facilities that are here. And there are great facilities, and there are very talented kids, and we need to make sure that we give them as much opportunity. So I'm excited about even the coffee and conversation. It sounds so small, but that's that simple piece that we were talking about earlier. Is that that is going to help them to understand more, and it's going to engage them more, and it's going to give them confidence. And we had a lunch just now, and we were talking about mental health. It's a global pandemic. It's not just isolated to the few. It's everyone has this, and I think this again is part of what the foundation will exist to do, is to look at all areas of education, of sport, and the harm that technology can do as well. Let's not be blind to that. We have to make sure that we take a world view of everything that we do with these kids and make sure that they're set up for success for the future.
Yep. The other thing we want to do is bring elite coaches in to coach the coaches, and great teachers to teach the teachers, to encourage the teachers. How can we help the teachers of this nation? When we have meetings early on with Oxfam in Dhaka, they're very, very clearly talking about lifting the teachers up as well. Providing resources for them, creating technologies that's going to support them and their mental health as well. It's a tough job teaching. Not that I've done it personally, but it personally scares me. I don't know how they do it. So how can we help them be better within Bangladesh? How can we support them in the things that cause them stress and pain, so that when they go into the classroom, they can give their best shot to the kids?
Sure. But if you support the teachers, then in return they will support the whole bunch of kids as well. And mental health is largely, ignored over here. Absolutely. So that's another important field that you will be,
If I can just say as well,
please.
I think it's important, and again we were discussing this over lunch earlier, is that actually it starts from the home.
True.
And actually we all have things that we are dealing with in life, because that is life. And we have to go back to the caregiver, to the parent, whether it be single or whether that be as a whole family. And we need to make sure that we also look after the parent pupil, teacher pupil relationship, because that's where we really make a difference.
Yeah, because it's not always about the talent.
No.
It's the nurture that they do need.
100%.
Because you can be talented, but you need constant nurture to excel in life. So that's what we are missing
Totally
over here in this country. So how do you envision tech intervention in supporting youth across the rural and underserved areas of Bangladesh? Because Bangladesh is largely divided into the rural areas and urban areas.
Yeah.
So do you have any plan to go to the rural areas? Because that's what technologies can do.
Absolutely.
It could bring the children of the rural areas as well, and it could connect them with the universities.
Yes.
As you have mentioned that. And you have also collaborated with YZA Tech Initiatives. And you know, what are the outcomes of those collaboration?
Yeah, absolutely. So rural, yes. Again, we're very early days with the foundation, but we have visited Sylhet 2 weeks ago. We took our education advisor, Charlie Guthrie, to see British Bangla school in Sylhet, and we went to Mirpur High School as well, a further hour and a half drive out. So we have sampled some of the variants of that. We definitely have plans to hit rural Bangladesh. I think it's vital. The second question was?
How do technologies connect the youth of the rural areas? Because you need nurture as well.
Yes.
Because in different parts of Bangladesh, there are a lot of talents.
Yep.
As you have said, because both of you are ex-cricketers, so you know the talents are over there. But you have to pick up. You were mentioning about the talent hunt, that you will invite all the best kids who play better cricket or better in any sports. So is there any plan to evolve with it and to go with it, the technology, and connect them with the rural children of Bangladesh?
I think ultimately technology is just an enabler. It's not a replacement, right? It's a hybrid approach, and it's really important, I think, that we make sure that is the case, because what we're developing as a tech product, or what we will develop in the future, will just be an aid. It will not be a replacement, as I say. So when we go into those, let's say, underprivileged areas, then actually what we're just giving them is just opportunity. We're going in, and actually we're not trying to we're just giving them a platform for them to have a chance.
True.
And actually it's not about the elite. It's about those kids that don't get the opportunity, because every single one of us has been given a talent.
True.
And if we can unearth that talent, we've done our job.
That's wonderful.
Well, I think maybe this is an opportunity to talk about Ben's company, because we're looking at connecting, especially in the rural communities, with the international business community. So we're potentially looking to work with a platform that's connected to 35 massive employers around the world. That can, it's almost like LinkedIn for children. Maybe you want to step in at this point.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It is like a LinkedIn. It's like, I may have played cricket, and I may have got, and I'm not saying I did, but I'm saying I may have got straight A's at school, and then and university, being a top student. But what actually this company is doing is they're taking more of the, I volunteered in charity, I play the guitar at a very good level, and I'm in a band, and they're looking at all of those soft skills outside of their education that really creates a profile for that employer that says, okay, they didn't get A's here, but actually they've got a skill set or a mindset or a value-driven, sort of purpose-driven way of thinking.
Passion.
That we really, and a passion, exactly, that they need or we need in our business, whichever business that is. And I think this is where this company that we're talking about is really going to make a difference. And I think as a partnership with us, it's going to be great. We are convinced, as there is many hidden talent in this country that needs unearthing, and needs, like in sports, you call it the pathway approach to sport, right? Grassroots to professional level. Well, it's the same way in anything in life. We need to create a path, a steady, straight path that we are there to guide them down and to help them and nurture them, as we said earlier, from that moment to the top. And the top for different people will be at a different point, but it will still be that elevated moment in their life, and that's again where we need to make sure that we do our piece for that.
That's wonderful. Peter, your great-great-grandfathers, they were not only businessmen, they were the dreamers. They connected with the local community.
Yes.
Before they came over here in Dhaka, jute is only used to make ropes.
Yes.
But later on, they taught the people of Dhaka how to make carpet out of the jute.
Yes.
Because that's how the product came out, and jute became the golden fiber of this country, one of the main export products where economy was dependent on. Even when we got independence from Pakistan, it was considered the golden fiber, the main export component and main export product that this country could have for earning global currency. So how do you see this, and what are the stories behind it from your forefathers?
Well, I like the Armenian way with the Bangladeshi people, that it wasn't coming there to tell you what to do, it was coming to encourage and to support and to show. There wasn't like a controlling spirit there, was there? There was more of a helping, supporting feeling. So I think, very much the same sort of methodology as us. Good question. Any thoughts, Lee?
No, I mean, I think you talked about I'm going to go back to go to. I live in Spain,
Exactly.
and one of the very large, internationally renowned sort of fashion retailers and houses, of Spain. A lot of products are made from here, and I know that they're produced here. And so that's again linking back to the past conversation. The opportunity that we have to really connect all the little dots that make that big dot. Are huge.
But that's what the root were, because now you can see the level made in Bangladesh in every brand shop, literally in Paris, Spain, or even in London, in Oxford Street. You can see a lot of made in Bangladesh, but that has started from that.
Yes,
that's the root. That's the history.
Yes.
That's the first endeavor towards that progress. So Lee, I think Lee will go now, because he has another program. So it's wonderful to talk with us.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, throughout this discussion, it came out that how this foundation is trying to connect the innovation with technology, and how their endeavors towards nurturing the children and their desires as well. It's about creating opportunity. It's about giving them a choice to excel. Absolutely. And how they're working. Lee, it's wonderful talking with you.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to go on a short break. Please do come back after the break, because we'll discuss many more about the Armenian communities and the endeavors of the Pogose Foundation in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk to Satv, sponsored by Grand Palace Hotel and Resort. Before the break, we had amongst us Lee Atkins. Now we have Mr. Onuraju amongst us. He's the project manager of Pogose Foundation. Welcome to Talk to Satv, sponsored by Grand Palace Hotel and Resort.
Yeah, I'm the project manager.
Yes. Onuraju, tell us about the alumnus of the school, Pogose School.
Okay, there were a few very famous people who studied from the Pogose School. One of them is the Quran translator, the Girish Chandra Sen, and then the first Doctor of Science, Agurnath Chatterjee. And then there's also chief ministers who studied from that Pogose School. And there are people who are very popular who studied from that school. And that's why the Pogose School is a very popular destination to study among people.
That's wonderful. That must have been a wonderful feeling. So as a project manager, Onuraju, what are the impediments that you are facing right now over here in Bangladesh?
Well, I've travelled with Mr. Peter to a lot of places, and I've seen that, most people, they want to learn English, but they just don't have that confidence that's enough to, for them to speak English. And we're having this thing called coffee and conversation. So basically, as I've taught English at a lot of places, I know that people take it as a subject, not as a language. So we're trying to make it a bit lighter on students, and we're trying to teach them English in a very natural, normal way. So that's why, I think we're doing it in the right way, and I think we have to take a lot of decisions before that. But yeah, I'm happy with the coffee and conversation. Yeah.
Peter, the COVID-19 pandemic impacted, how does it impacted your programming, and how are you adapting after COVID, this foundation?
Well, the seeds of that have only just really begun for our foundation, so we weren't really affected on that. But I think, for me personally, I've been through a huge transformation since then. I did a prayer that changed my life, quite frankly. I went, please unlock some of the 97% of my brain that I'm not using, please. And from that moment, God woke me up, and I've been through an amazing transformation. So I've done a lot of learning from that, being healed of lots of things, lots of things that were on my heart that have been lifted out of the root.
I think our viewers would love to know about those transformation process, that how it came into, or how it popped into your mind. Well, what are the events? I think viewers would love to know about.
Yes. So,
when did it first happen?
Well, I think I hit a stage in my life. I'm 52 now. At the age of 47, I was asking the questions round about the time of COVID, and I don't think it was just me that was asking these questions. The whole world was going through this change. But I was asking, who am I? Why am I here? And what on earth is this life all about? And I looked at my career and I think, oh my gosh, none of it makes sense, until I heard a little voice going, I've been building your character. I've been building your, until this moment. And so when I did that prayer, actually it unlocked something completely different in me. There was a more of a spiritual mindset to life, that are striving, that are trying to, how do we put it? It was a complete reversal of everything I'd been taught and learned. I can only imagine it. You sort of come down into life. You were born and you're projected into this world, and suddenly you're fighting. You want a mortgage, you want an education. You're fighting. And I got to the point where I'm not fighting anymore, and I started to come back down and make that real sort of spiritual transformation. So in that process, I went through lots of changes. I'm not the Peter I was 5 years ago, and in that process, lots of things came off me, lots of pains, lots of anxieties, lots of pressures in life just came falling off me. And it is linked to my faith. Obviously the major faith in this country is a Muslim faith. I have a Christian background, and it was very much linked to understanding more of who I am within my faith as well.
On Raju, I think there are a lot of impediments that you have faced, as well as you must have a plan in next 3 to 5 years. What through this project you want to achieve? So enlighten us about the plans.
Okay, so we have launched a lot of pilot projects. For example, Coffee and Conversation, and also Wiser Cricket app, Umpire Uncles. So basically what we want to do is we want to launch these apps in order for people to enrich their vocabulary in English and then play cricket. We are trying to help bring the talented people in our foundation in order for them to flourish in the cricket industry, in order for people to learn English in a very easy way. So maybe in 3 to 5 years we'll see people speaking English in a very very easy, normal way. Not like I'm doing this, I have to do this. Not like that. They will be like relaxed, normal, very casual conversation, and will lead them to become very good speakers. And as for cricket people love cricket in Bangladesh. We all know that. So if we teach them how to play cricket in a good way, and if we bring good coaches from the UK, from Australia, that'd be fantastic. That'll be fantastic for people, and they love to learn from them. And I think eventually, given the condition of our cricket team right now, we need more players. Okay, and it's not like we can't play or our players can't play. It's not like that. We need more people to lead us the way of cricket. That's it. So I think that will happen in the next 3 to 5 years from our foundation.
Peter, you are carrying a legacy of philanthropy. You're carrying a legacy of donation and community service, working for the humanity. So what about your other siblings or your sons or anyone who is engaged?
I have an older brother, and his name's Robert. It's very strange. He looks a little bit more like Nicholas Peter Pogose than I do. There's a family resemblance that runs through him, which is quite fascinating. I have an ex-wife, but I have 3 wonderful children from that marriage. And you have Joshua, 22, and Samuel, who's involved in the foundation, 19, and a lovely daughter called Jennifer at 13.
Okay.
So they're right behind.
The passion driving as well?
Yeah, they're right behind this mission. Samuel's been out here. He's bringing 5 volunteers over in January to do coffee and conversation. So we'll start rolling out that pilot project within Daffodil University, within the Pogose School, and we'll take them up to Sylhet to the British Bangla School and Mirpur High School. And we'll just work out what works, what doesn't work, how can we improve next time. The dream would be that we just bring, not a flood, I would say is the wrong word, but a continuous flow of volunteers from the UK and USA to start having this coffee and conversation with young people and see where we go from there.
Okay, so will the foundation offer any scholarships, or is there any plan to offer scholarship or internship in technology, on sports?
I think so within the school. I think it's again early stage. Where do we spend our money? We are obviously looking to attract new partners, corporate partners, other philanthropists, other NGOs to be part of that bridge as well.
Back from UK as well?
Yeah, absolutely. We want to especially connect with the British Bangladeshi community over in the UK. I think once they see that things are working.
Yeah, because they want a trusted partner as well. Because lots of them don't know whether the money will go on for a right cause or not.
Absolutely. So we want to create a glass box, effectively, a very transparent organisation, that when you send your money into a particular project, it lands there. There's no middle bit that's taking a cut out of it. It's very much a so we make our organisation very transparent, very clear.
Thank you, Mr. Peter.
And that will drive confidence in donations into the right cause. But we're looking to base the foundation in Bangladesh and set the structure up in this country.
Thank you, Peter, for your wonderful time. And thank you, Mr. Onraju, the project manager of the foundation. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on my show.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, nearly 2 centuries ago, in 1948, Nicholas Pogose planted a seed of learning and in the heart of old Dhaka, and the seed that grew into a legacy of education, humanity, and social responsibility. His pioneering spirit reminds us that true philanthropy is not merely an act of giving, it's an act of believing in the people, believing in the potential and the power of knowledge to transform society. So we congratulate the Nicholas Pogose Foundation. So through its revival, through the reimagination, through the dream that you have started, I think at some point it will through Nicholas Pogose Foundation, where legacy will meet innovation.
Thank you.
So through this work in education, technology, sport, the foundation is empowering the next generation of youth in Bangladesh and nurturing leaders who are creative, passionate, and globally connected. So thank you so much for coming to our show, and I wish you a wonderful, work and wonderful future ahead of the foundation.
Very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have talked about the different features of the foundation, how they have already contributed, and the future aspirations and endeavors that they want to take. So we owe a lot to the Pogose School because it has given us the famous poets, the first Doctor of Science, first Doctor of Arts, and many more professionals who contributed towards progressive and change of the society, who worked for the community. And we hope this foundation, through their endeavors, through their work, through their different projects, will make the future ahead of this country more brighter. Thank you so much for joining us. We will meet you next week with another guest. Until that moment, goodbye. Allah Hafiz.